Welcome to another episode of CHILIpulse, the space we created to get actionable insights on all things Chili GraFx. Today, we will discover how Kadanza uses Chili GraFx smart templates in their brand portal. Joining me in the studio is Jasper. Jasper de Craecker is partner at Kadanza, and Kadanza has been a partner from day one. Using our connector framework, they integrated their DAM into Chili GraFx smart templates. Welcome to the studio, Jasper.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Let's start with maybe explaining what is Kadanza.
So Kadanza is a software as a service platform. We offer a solution which allows branding professionals and agencies to document their brand guidelines. So that's one of the three components. But then we also have a digital asset management system which allows people to store their digital assets and enrich them with all sorts of metadata and then share them outside of their organization. And the third component is our layout manager, which allows customers to use graphics studio to create digital and print content for their all-around purposes.
Okay. Before we started, you walked me through a story of an account manager. Can you take us with you on that story?
Yeah, sure. So let's say that we have an account manager in one of a retail scenario where this account manager is responsible for selling soda to a retailer so that the retailer can roll out the product in the country. They've just launched a new product. It's a new product they want to promote, and this account manager wants to create some personalized ads to bring to this meeting with a customer so that he can have a more convincing story to tell to the customer. It looks more professional.
Yeah. So where would she start to make that personalized collateral?
So for the account manager in this case, the whole story would start on their Kadanza instance. So they would log into their Kadanza instance. Usually that happens with a simple click of a button with a single sign-on, and immediately they're brought into their Kadanza installation, where they can see an overview of the different spaces within the Kadanza installation. Usually, those are, for example, different brands. So if you have a house of brands, you can have many different brands on the launchpad, so you can choose which brand you want to navigate to. Once the account manager has chosen, I want to go into this brand, which is our demo brand, there is a possibility to go into the Graphics Studio integration, where now we will demonstrate one of the connector templates. So this template is a connector-enabled template, and of course, that's not something the account manager actually cares about. The account manager cares about how can I get this version, this personalized version with this new product in my computer, or download it to my computer as soon as possible so I can leave to my meeting. So this happens really easily just by clicking on the icon of the template, and immediately the account manager is inside the Graphics Studio user interface. Over here, the customer can actually, or the account manager can actually go in and choose a product. So right now we have the Lime version, which has been an old version. Nobody cares about it anymore. But
nobody likes Lime anymore today.
Lime is out of fashion. So now we've thought, okay, let's bring something new to the market. And we've made up a product which is based on passion fruit. And passion fruit, that's the new stuff. Everybody loves it. And I hope they will be able to sell a lot of passion fruit juice in the coming years. So immediately after choosing this new passion fruit product, all the information that was attached to this media item has been placed into the product template, which is the price, the alcohol percentage. Additional product info was not available, but there's also the product name. So immediately all of this data was brought in through our DAM integration. And this data was even originally coming from a PIM system, a product information management system. If the account manager decides, actually, €2.5 going to be too expensive, I want to make a special promotion for this customer, I'll turn it into 2.3. He can just still override the value, and this value will be immediately in the template.
And that will then help to sell the item to their retail stores.
Yeah,
This says for passion fruits 2.3 seems like reasonable.
That seems like a pretty reasonable price, yeah.
And can you also integrate some limits? Because I can imagine if you know the store owner too well, that you drop the price.
Of course, so yeah, definitely there are possibilities in the variables in the Chili template. It's something we will look at later at this presentation. Yeah. It's possible to put some constraints, so maximum is 2.9 and the minimum is 1.8. Yeah. Those are all things that can be configured on a template level, or even decided in the product information management system. So you can even go as far as saying it's in the product information defined what is the maximum discount that we can give on this product. Yeah. And then the template will immediately take this into account.
So it's up to the brand to decide, is product in charge? How much freedom do I give to my account managers?
Yeah, indeed, absolutely.
So now the account manager is ready. He or she can download, or what can they do from here on?
Yeah, so there's a few options actually to download this item. It's possible to download a JPEG. It's also possible to download an animated version in MP4 or GIF, or in a PDF version if it has to be printed somewhere. Yeah. That's also a possibility. But what we see more and more in these days is that the account manager is taking their iPad to the customer, just wants to show the personalized content on the iPad when they're visiting a customer.
Can I summarize what we need for this to work? I think there's three things. There's the template, there's the assets, and there's also the connection between the two.
Yeah.
Let's dive maybe into to the first one.
All right.
Well, let's start with the templates.
Sure. So the template is mentioned in the CHILI GraFx platform. So this happens all within the existing platform of CHILI GraFx. We didn't reinvent the wheel or anything like that. So anyone familiar with creating Graphics Studio templates will be knowing this user interface already. So here we choose this specific template. And this template is actually not that special because it follows all the standard guidelines you have when it comes to designing a studio template. Where the magic kind of begins is with the variables. So we have a few variables defined here, the image variable, and then 5 text variables, and together they control the entire contents of this template that you see right here.
So that means if you change one of those, that the content of the collateral will change.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
That's what the account manager did on the front end side.
Yeah, indeed.
So that's the template. You define the template, what is variable, how big can the reduction be, that can all be defined there or in the PIM.
Yeah.
What else do I need? It's you talked about the assets, the actual images.
So the digital assets in our case are all stored in the Kadanza digital asset management system. And if we go back to our Kadanza platform, I can immediately show you the media library where I created a page that is just listing all the product shots that are available for this specific sample product. So in this case, we have 8 different assets. And when you open these assets, you'll immediately see that there's a bunch of metadata here that is used in the template we were just looking at. So, for example, you have the price, the product description. There's various information that we can bring into the template. Could be a SKU, for example. And each of these images in the library has a different metadata set.
Yeah, and that's the information that then comes along into the template.
Indeed.
And I think that's the connection between the two.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Where the connector comes into play, indeed.
And so what you did is you built the connector to connect the assets from Kadanza to the CHILI GraFx template.
Yeah, indeed.
And how did that go? How was that difficult? Did it take a lot of time?
Well, like every integration, you start with reading the documentation, of course. Yeah. And this documentation is really easy to follow because it's pretty much a step-by-step guide on how to achieve building a connector in the connector framework that's been made available in Graphics. So all in all, it was a pretty straightforward integration job. It's in JavaScript. A lot of developers know JavaScript already. So for us, it was pretty straightforward to build this connector.
And can you talk about the time it took all in all to make it?
So looking at the pure development time to get our first version ready was about a week of work.
Yeah.
So it was very fast. If you compare it to other things that we've integrated in the past, this is definitely one of our easier and smoother integrations we've had.
And how comes it's easier?
Because it's very standardized. So I think, the people building Graphic Studio know a lot about media libraries and connectors. And
Shout out to the colleagues.
Indeed. So the whole integration has been streamlined and simplified in a way that we just need to implement, for example, one function to fetch an asset, one function to fetch a list of assets, one function to download an asset. So it's been structured in such a way that we just had to look at all the functions we had to implement and map it to our own API. And once that was done, the hard part was covered.
It's great to hear. The colleagues will love to hear that.
Yeah, it's definitely a great solution.
Yeah, all right. So from now on, all Kadanza customers can make use of the connection between smart templates and the DAM assets in the Kadanza platform?
Yeah, indeed. So we've deployed our connector in the Chili, in the graphics marketplace.
Yeah.
And now anyone can start using our connector.
Great. Well, thanks for the great explanation and thanks for having you in the studio.
Thank you very much. It was a great pleasure.
All right. And if the audience also wants to try out the Kadanza platform, you should reach out to Kadanza. If you want to try out the CHILI GraFx platform or maybe play around with it, take a look on the website and sign up for the discovery environment, and then you can play around with the environment. And if you're brave enough, maybe also build a connector yourself. Thank you so much and see you in the next episode.
Thank you, Bram.
See you.
See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.